And we are back. Ito pa rin ang Project SOAR, series of online academic reviews of mathematics CLAID learning modules, week 5. Kanina ay nakasama ninyo ako para sa advanced lesson ng grade 4. Ngayon naman, dumako tayo sa advanced lesson ng grade 5. Alam ko, excited na ang ating mga grade 5 learners kasama ng kanilang home learning partners para sa kanilang advanced lesson. Ang ating teacher reviewer for grade 5 ay graduate ng bachelor's degree in elementary education sa Eastern Samar State University. He is a former elementary teacher at Namay Polytechnic Institute. He is the newest addition of Ilay Barangka Integrated School family. A grade 5 mathematics teacher, let us all welcome Mr. Larry Doblon.
Maraming salamat, Sir Roy, sa napakagandang introduction. Magandang araw, Mandunong kids, at sa lahat ng ating home learning partners. Muli, ako si Sir Larry Doblon, ang iyong makakasama para sa advanced lesson ng week 5 para sa grade 5. Handa na ang iyong module, lapis at papel, at tayo magsisimula na. Math-sayang Math-aral, tayo na matuto. Today, we're going to discuss the advanced lesson in Mathematics 5, Quarter 2, Week 5. Here are the topics that we're going to discuss. Topic 1. Estimating the product of decimal numbers with reasonable results. Topic 2. Solving routine and non-routine problems involving multiplication without or with addition or subtraction of decimals and whole numbers, including money, using appropriate problem-solving strategies and tools. For this week's objectives, at the end of the lesson, the learners are expected to estimate the product of decimal numbers with reasonable results, and solves routine and non-routine problems involving multiplication without or with addition or subtraction of decimals and whole numbers, including money, using appropriate problem-solving strategies and tools.
Lesson 1. Estimating the products of decimal numbers with reasonable results. Before we start, let's review the following terms. Estimate. Estimate means finding the value that is close enough to the right answer or amount. We use the approximate symbol to indicate an estimate. So take note that estimate is just close enough to the answer and do not refer to the exact or accurate amount. Kapag exact or accurate amount ang tinutukoy natin, we do use of equals or equal symbol. Rounding off numbers. How do we round off decimals? To round a decimal, look at the digit immediately to the right of the place being rounded. So for example, we have here 16 and 75 hundredths, and we're going to round off this to the nearest tens. 7 is in the tens place. So we will look sa right ni 7, which is 5. If that digit is 5 or more, add 1 to the digit in the place being rounded and drop all the digits to its right. So therefore, 16 and 75 hundredths rounded off to the nearest tens is 16 and 8 tenths. If the digit is 4 or less, the digit stays the same and drop all the digits to the right of the place being rounded. So for example, we have here 9 and 32 hundredths. 3 is in the tens place. we will look sa right ni 3 which is 2, and 2 is less than 4. So therefore, 9 and 32 hundredths rounded off to the nearest tens is 9 and 3 tenths. We are talking about estimating the products of decimal numbers. Why is estimating important? Bakit nga ba importante ang pag-estimate? Estimating the product of decimal numbers is very useful in your everyday living. Estimating can save time as you give an immediate response that is close to the exact answer. If you are on shopping, you can also use this skill to determine if your money will still be enough if you purchase an item in several times. So for example, bibili ka ng itlog sa tindahan at ang bawat piraso ng itlog ay nagkakahalaga ng 7 pesos and 25 cents. Ilang piraso ng itlog ang mabibili mo kung ang dala mong pera ay 100 pesos. So, if you know how to estimate, then you can immediately tell kung ilang piraso ang mabibili mo sa 100 pesos mong dalang pera. Let's understand more of our lesson with Mark's problem. Mark spent 13 pesos and 50 cents per week for his shampoo. About how much would he spend for shampoo in 14.3 weeks? So, sa problema ni Mark, inahanap natin ang nagastos niya sa nagamit niyang shampoo sa loob ng 14.3 weeks. We are going to find the product of the given numbers through estimating. About how much indicates to estimate. To find a reasonable estimate using decimal numbers, round the decimal to the nearest whole number. In our problem, we have 13 and 50 hundredths and 14 and 30 hundredths as the given numbers. How do we estimate the product of these numbers? Well, we are going to convert these decimals into its nearest whole number to multiply the numbers easily. But how do we convert this decimal into a whole number? Well, we are going to round them off. If the number is equal to or greater than 5, round the number up to the nearest whole number, add 1 to the rounding digit, and drop all the digit to the right of it. Let's look at the first given number, 13 and 50 hundredths. Its decimal is equal to 5. Then, we are going to round this decimal up. Then we say that 13 and 50 hundredths is already closer to 14. If the number is less than 5, round the number down to the nearest whole number. Do not change the rounding digit and drop all the digits to the right of it. Let's take a look at the second given number, 14 and 30 hundredths. Its decimal is less than 5. Then we are going to round this number down and say that 14 and 30 hundredths is much closer to 14. Multiply the rounded factors and we get 196 as an estimate. So, 13 and 50 hundredths times 14 and 30 hundredths is approximately 196. Therefore, Mark spent about 196 pesos for his shampoo for 14.3 weeks. Let us solve another problem. Kaloy's car gets 25.7 miles per gallon on the highway. If his fuel tank holds 10.28 gallons, about how far can he travel on one full tank of gas? About how far indicates to estimate. In this problem, we also need to estimate the product. To find a reasonable estimate using decimal numbers, round the factors to the greatest place value. In our problem, we have 25 and 70 hundredths and 10 and 28 hundredths as the given numbers. In this case, we have to take a look at the ones place in order for us to get the greatest rounded value of the given numbers. Let's look at the first given number, 25 and 70 hundredths. Its ones place value is 5. Then, we are going to round up and say that 25 and 70 hundredths is closer to 30. Now let's take a look at the second given number, 10 and 28 hundredths. Its ones place value is 0. Then we are going to round down and say that 10 and 28 hundredths is much closer to 10. Multiply the greatest rounded number and we get 300 as an estimate. 25 and 70 hundredths times 10 and 28 hundredths is approximately 300. The distance Kaloy can travel in one full tank is about 300 miles. Let's take another example. Estimate the product of 5 and 23 hundredths and 4 and 75 hundredths. To get the answer, first we are going to round off the factors to the nearest whole number before multiplying. So let's round off 5 and 23 hundredths. Is this number closer to 5 or closer to 6? Alright, 5 and 23 hundredths is closer to 5. How about 4 and 75 hundredths? Is this number closer to 4 or closer to 5? Very good. 4 and 75 hundredths is closer to 5. And then we are going to find the product of the rounded factors. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So therefore, the estimated product of 5 and 23 hundredths and 4 and 75 hundredths is 25. If we are going to compute these numbers with decimals, we can see that our estimate is close enough to the exact or accurate answer. Estimate the product of 17 and 85 hundredths and 3 and 54 hundredths. So what we are going to do first is to round off the numbers into its greatest value. So 17 and 85 hundredths. Is this number closer to 17 or 18? Alright, 17 and 85 hundredths is already closer to 18. How about 3 and 54 hundredths? Is this number closer to 3 or closer to 4? Very good. 3 and 54 hundredths is closer to 4. Then we're going to multiply the rounded numbers. We have 18 times 4 is equal to 72 as an estimate. If we are going to multiply or compute the numbers with decimal, we can see that our estimate is closer to the correct or accurate answer. Estimate the product of 97 and 34 hundredths and 5 and 97 hundredths. So first, we are going to round off the factors to its greatest value. 97 and 34 hundredths is already closer to 100. And how about 4 and 96 hundredths? This number is closer to 5. And then we're going to multiply the rounded factors, and we get 500 as an estimate. If we're going to get the exact answer, accurate answer, we can see that our estimate is close enough to the accurate or exact one. Let's wrap it up. To estimate the product, round each factor to the greatest or highest place value, then multiply the rounded factors. Let's practice. This is an activity wherein you are going to choose the best estimate. Number 1. Estimate the product of 7 and 57 hundredths and 5 and 45 hundredths. A. 35, B. 40, C. 45, or D. 50. Alright, the best estimate is letter B, 40. Number 2. 87 and 87 hundredths times 4 and 650 thousandths is approximately A. 150, B. 450, C. 650, or D. 950. Alright, the best estimate is letter B, 450. Number 3. 620 and 1/10 times 9 and 54 hundredths is approximately A. 7,000, B. 6,200, C. 6,500, or D. 5,400. Alright, the best estimate is letter B, 6,200. Number 4. 24 and 74 hundredths times 10 and 32 hundredths is approximately A. 500, B. 300, C. 250, or D. 600. Alright, the best estimate is letter C, 250. Number 5. 45 and 23 hundredths times 97 and 4/10 is approximately A. 4,000, B. 5,000, C. 6,000, or D. 7,000. The best estimate is letter B, 5,000. Let us now proceed to our next lesson. Solving routine and non-routine problems involving multiplication, without or with addition or subtraction of decimals and whole numbers including money using appropriate problem-solving strategies and tools. In solving word problem, key or clue words may help us decide on what operation to be used in solving the problem. So, here are some keywords that are usually found in a word problem involving multiplication: double, by, times, of, multiply, product, altogether, twice or squared, times, groups of, and every. So, when we found these words in a word problem, it gives us a clue that we are going to multiply. In solving routine problems, we follow these steps. First, understand the problem. In understanding the problem, we will know what is asked and what are the given facts. Then after knowing what is asked and what are the given numbers, we will plan for the problem. We will plan on how to solve the problem and identify the operation to be used, then write the number sentence. Next step is solve it. In solving it, we are just going to execute or solve the number sentence. Then, we're going to check and look back by reviewing or checking your answer. In solving non-routine problems involving multiplication without or with addition or subtraction of decimals and whole numbers, we will read and analyze the problems carefully. Tell what is asked and what are the given numbers. Then we will use other strategies like listing, table method, guess and test, drawing, making a diagram, using patterns, and etc. Let's try now solving routine problem. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the government imposed enhanced community quarantine. Because of this, my father wanted to store foods that will be good for a week. He bought 25 canned sardines at 19 pesos and 50 cents each, 25 kilos of rice worth 1,050 pesos, and 16-pack noodles worth 160 pesos. He brought 2 1,000 peso bills. How much money was left? Let's follow the steps in solving word problem. First is we're going to understand the problem. Number 1. Know what is asked in the problem. The problem is asking for the amount of money left of 2 1,000 peso bills. 2. Know the hidden information. So as we can see, the total amount of 25 canned sardines is not yet computed. Yet, the total amount of 25 canned sardines is the hidden information. 3. Give the given facts. The given facts are 25 canned sardines at 19 pesos and 50 cents each, 25 kilos of rice worth 1,050 pesos, 16-packed noodles worth 160 pesos, and 2 1,000 peso bills. Next is we are going to plan. Determine the operation to be used. We will use multiplication to get the total cost of sardines, addition to sum up the total expenses, and subtraction to get the money left. Write the number sentence. 2 times 1,000 in parentheses minus 25 times 19.50 in parentheses plus 1,050 plus 100 in parentheses is equal to n. 2 times 100 is the peso bills. 25 times 19.50 is the total cost of the sardines, and 1050 plus 160 is the total cost of rice and noodles. Let's have our solution. By following the PEMDAS rule, we are going to perform operations inside the parentheses. 2 times 1000 will give us 2000. 25 times 19.50 will give us 487.5. And 1050 plus 160 is equal to 1210. Next is we are going to perform operations inside the bracket. 487.5 plus 1210 is equal to 1697.50. And lastly, we will subtract 2000 minus 1697.50 is equal to 302.50, or 302 pesos and 50 cents is the value of N. So the total money left is 302 pesos and 50 cents. Let's check and look back. In order for us to check our answer, we are going to sum up the money left, the total cost of rice and noodles, the total cost of sardines, and it must be equal to the money that father brought. $302.50 plus 1,210 is equal to 1,512.50. 1,512.50 plus 487.50 is equal to 2,000. So, therefore, our solution is correct. Solving non-routine problem. Harold bought 9 disinfectant alcohols at 85 pesos each and 15 face masks at 20 pesos and 50 cents for his family. How much change did he get from his 3 500 peso bills? Let's follow the steps in solving word problem. First is understand the problem. Know what is asked in the problem. The problem is asking for the total change did he get from his 3 500 peso bills. What are the given facts? The given facts are 9 disinfectant alcohols at 85 pesos each, 15 masks at 20 pesos and 50 cents, and 3 500 peso bills. For our plan, we're going to use the strategy which is making a diagram or drawing. So our plan is to get the total cost of these items and subtract it to our money, which is 3 pieces of 500 peso bill. Now let's do our solution. 3 pieces of 500 peso bill will make 1,500 pesos. 15 pieces of mask at 20 pesos and 50 cents will cost 307 pesos and 50 cents. 9 pieces of disinfectant alcohol at 85 pesos each will cost 765 pesos. Now let's use this mathematical sentence. Perform the operations inside the parentheses. 307.50 plus 765 is equal to 1072.50. Then perform the last operation, which is subtraction. 1,500 minus 1072.50 is equal to 427.50. Therefore, Harold's change is 427 pesos and 50 cents.
At dyan nagtatapos ang ating advanced lesson para sa Week 5. Para sa inyong mga katanungan, magpadala lamang ng mensahe sa ating official Facebook page, Math Team, Mathematics Teachers Association of Mandaluyong, o di kaya sa inyong mga mathematics teachers. Muli, ako si Sir Larry Dublon, na nagsasabing Math-sayang Math-aral, tayo ng Math-tuto. Hanggang sa muli, paalam!